Hi, Manish Mehta here alongside Star Ledger Jets beat reporter Dave Hutchinson at the Jets Atlantic Health Training Facility in Florham Park, previewing Week 15, the 8-5 Jets hosting the 6-7 Buffalo Bills. And Hutch, the Jets are an absolute mess, losers of 2 in a row. San Francisco picking them apart last week. The offense was horrible, the defense was terrible, the coaching absolutely abysmal, and now the Jets find themselves in a 3-way tie atop the AFC East with the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. A few weeks ago, Hutch, it was a lock. This team was making the postseason. Now, with 3 games to go, they're in a fight for their playoff lives.
Yeah, I tell you, Manish, and I think that the most alarming thing here is that the players themselves admitted that they took their foot off of the pedal. I mean, when you get someone down in this league, you got to knock them out. And I'm very surprised and I guess you would say disappointed that, the Jets, the practices weren't as crisp as they had been earlier on. Obviously, the guys were reading their press clippings. Obviously, they were buying into this Jets-Giants Super Bowl talk. So I think now it's a big reality call for these guys. And like you said, now they're in a fight of their lives, whereas before, for a change, they were able to maybe coast into the playoffs. Now they have to fight and, shoot their biggest and best bullet just to get in.
Hutch, let's start with the biggest Achilles heel of that defense, the Jets secondary, which was torched yet again, this time by Shaun Hill, who goes for 285 yards through the air, completes passes to 10 different players. The Jets are really stuck with the guys that they have now in that secondary. How do they go about fixing what is clearly the biggest problem of this defense?
Well, the thing about that is that this problem didn't just crop up. I mean, this has been a problem all year. Earlier on, the Jets cut Hank Poteet and brought him back. They went back in the archives and pulled out Ty Law.
Right.
I mean, so they know this has been a problem. And earlier on, this problem was masked by the pass rush. The Jets were racking up all of these sacks. But here recently, in the last 3 or 4 games, they haven't gotten the sacks, and the secondary has been exposed. Outside of Darrelle Revis, no one is really playing well back there, and this is an area that they're going to have to address in the draft.
Absolutely. Now they are next to last in the league in pass defense, about 251, 252 yards, and they couldn't even. They got to Shaun Hill 3 times last week, but they couldn't get to him on a touchdown pass he threw. I think it was a 10-step drop. I mean, that's downright embarrassing. 10 steps, Hutch. You know how
in
long
the red zone.
Exactly.
In the red zone.
How long does it take to get to? I mean, the guy's 10 steps back, but let's move on. Let's stick.
Calm down, man.
I'm sure Jets fans are feeling the frustration as well. I am not a Jets fan, by the way. Let's stick with the defense. Sean Ellis arrested a couple weeks ago on marijuana possession. We know that the Jets really slapped him on the wrist, didn't suspend him, took a few bucks out of his pocket. But does he face any real concerns in terms of getting disciplined by the league moving forward?
Yes, Manish. From what I'm hearing right now, the league is going to let the legal process play itself out, and then once that's finished, the commissioner and the league is going to review the situation. My guess is that he's probably going to get a 1-game fine, and that's going to happen next year. So I think he'll be fined, maybe fined as well. Maybe docked a couple of game checks.
Okay. On the other side of the ball, this offense was absolutely rolling, about 33 points a game during that 5-game winning streak. Invisible in the last couple games, averaging less than half, about 16 points a game. And Brett Favre, frankly, has just looked old. No touchdowns the last couple games, and has a quarterback rating of about 62 in each of the last 2 games. We know that he didn't have a full training camp because of the drama with the Green Bay Packers. At his age, at this stage of the season, has he simply hit a wall?
I don't think so. I think this short passing game has hit a wall. I mean, as you said, they were on that run there for 5 straight games. I mean, they were killing teams with screens to Leon and Thomas Jones. They were running the quick slants. Keller was just killing people here. They were running the bubble screens. And, I think the opponents have all of this stuff on film, and now it's on the Jets end to counterpunch. And it's going to be interesting to see what offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer comes up with this week and throughout the rest of the season, because teams have studied up on this offense. So now the Jets have to make a counter move.
The other big concerns is the lack of production from the wide receivers, Jericho Cotchery and Lavernius Coles. Just 2 catches for 15 yards last week. In the last 2 games combined for just 57 yards. receiving. That's not going to get it done. These are guys who are supposed to make plays for you, Hutch. How does Brian Schottenheimer get these two guys more involved in the offensive game plan?
Well, I tell you, in the past few games, they've been going away from these guys, going to Keller, as we just said, running the screen passes to the running backs. And I think now the Schottenheimer needs to put a little more of the focus on Jericho and Lavernius and give these guys opportunities. You can't just go to them every 1 out of 10 passes and expect them to make a play. You need to get these guys in rhythm. Maybe have them do a couple of double moves on some receivers, on the DBs to get these guys to bite on those patterns.
It's a novel concept, right?
Well, yeah. Have we seen it yet? I haven't seen any. So, I think they need to figure out a way to get the receivers more involved in the game plan and get away from this short passing game a little bit. You don't have to junk it, but, once you see that's not working, you got to go to plan B.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's not all gloom and doom with the Jets. The good news is that they play the totally inept Buffalo Bills. Losers of 7 of their last 9, haven't scored a touchdown in either of the past 2 games. Hutch, any chance, as bad as the Jets are playing, any chance they're going to lose on Sunday?
I mean, you can never say never,
right,
especially with these guys. I mean, we said the same thing with Kansas City. They almost lost.
Right.
We said the same thing with the Raiders. They did lose. Said the same thing with the Bengals. It was a game, but on paper and with the state of the team right now, I think these guys are really going to be ready to play this week. And I might bet maybe a fourth of my mortgage on the Jets this week. Not the whole
I'm
way.
betting everything. I mean, I rent, but I'm still betting everything. This won't be a contest. The Jets are playing terribly, but Buffalo's a horrible team. Jets will win. The bigger concern is next week when they go out west for a 4th time, will they have success out there? They're 0-3 in California. This time they'll play a Seattle Seahawks team, which is very bad. But then again, we know the Jets are very bad when they play 3,000 miles away from home. But we'll talk about that later. For Dave Hutchinson, I'm Manish Mehta.